John chapter 19, verse 38. So here in the park, there's a botanical garden. There are a number of these bamboo houses in the bamboo kind of forest here. Again, it's pretty beautiful in the way they made it. Yeah, sitting here on this bamboo, quite nice. But this is would be the total opposite of where the next part of this chapter happened. Let's read. Verse 19. John 19, verse 38. After these things, Joseph of Arimathea, who was a disciple of Jesus, but secretly, for fear of the Jews, asked Pilate that he might take away the body of Jesus, and Pilate gave him permission. So he came and took away his body. Okay, like I said, so here he went to Pilate, so he most likely had to go into Pilate, not wait for Pilate on the outside. So he would not then have been able to take part in the Passover by entering, shutting himself off that year from being able to participate in the Passover. So there's a lot that Joseph was going to of Arimathea that he's willing to do here now. It starts off with, okay, let me just, before I go up, it starts off with, I mentioned that this place where I'm now, this bamboo kind of huts kind of idea, would be the total opposite of where. Okay, so he would go to the palace of Pilate, not to bamboo hut, the palace of Pilate, and ask him for the body, making it so that he won't be able to participate of the Passover. But it states that he was a disciple of Jesus, right? But secretly. So it's interesting, kind of. So he's secretly a disciple of Jesus, and now when everything happened, and this rabbi, his Messiah, is dead, he's willing to sacrifice the possibility of taking part on this Passover, to scoff off everyone involved, because now they're going to. How can you keep this hidden? It's impossible to keep this hidden. Totally impossible to keep this hidden. Everybody will know about it, right? Here, John is writing it, and I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure, that Joseph of Arimathea allowed for him to write this down. That he knew that John is writing this, because he is being a disciple, a secret disciple of Jesus, is over. He's not the secret disciple of Jesus anymore. The moment this name was written down, the moment in such a way, and as I said a number of times, I believe it was written very early, that made it very clear to everyone involved. He is not a secret disciple of Jesus anymore. Now, so the death of this Messiah leads him to offer to take everything away, give everything up, to come out of the closet, so as to say, for the right reasons, to show that he's a disciple. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. You would expect if Jesus was on the throne, yes, sure, now he's like, oh, look at me, I'm one of his disciples as well. Now I can get my ministerial post, right? No. When he could get nothing. And that's the point. It's not prosperity gospel, it's when you can get nothing that you come out. You believe in God, not because you get anything out of God, but just because you believe in God. That's all. Simple. Things are so simple, I think, sometimes. Maybe it's so simple, and therefore we make them so complex because it's too simple. We feel we need to do to deserve something. So we need to do good deeds to deserve heaven. We don't need to do good deeds to deserve heaven. It's God through His grace giving it to us. Like here, it in secret, out of fear. Now we can't gain anything. He opens up. He shows to the world. Everybody, they would have known. Gee whiz, how could he not carry? How would it be possible the moment they come to take off the body? Everybody would have been standing there. All these leaders still would be standing there like, what are you doing? Okay, no more hiding. No more hiding. Again, the beauty of it is when he could get nothing from it, he stopped hiding. Praise God for that. Okay, so he came to Pilate asking him to take the body away. And Pilate said, okay, yes, you can take the body away. So that's what he did. Verse 39. Nicodemus also, who earlier had come to Jesus by night, came bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 75 pounds in weight. Okay, so here we have another secret disciple. Well, maybe as of that moment before, they're not yet a disciple of, but now he's sure a disciple. Like Joseph, when he can't get anything, he's here. Okay, now Nicodemus is a very important person in this. First, I believe Nicodemus is the one who sponsored John, who provided the funds for him to write this book down. And for that reason, I believe that every time Nicodemus is mentioned, he is mentioned with the approval of, the knowledge of Nicodemus. Okay, it's like today people don't know, oh, you can't use my photo, you can't use this, you can't use that, that's my personal space or anything like that, whatever. So, so much more for Nicodemus, right? If John wrote about him without this approval, then man, and Josephus, well, just at least Josephus came and asked for the body. This would have been very bad for them, like really bad. They could have taken him to court. Well, in today's modern world, people would do that, right? But they did not. Nicodemus did not. He didn't like, oh, write my name out of the story, right? No, I believe that Nicodemus is a person who sponsored John to provide for him so they could do all of this and write it down, and that he had him use his name because he wanted to show, like John is doing through the book of the blind man in one chapter coming to the faith, the same way ultimately the Samaritan woman at the well. One chapter is enough. For Nicodemus, the first time he came was at night, afraid. The second time he squeaked up a little bit. And now here he is. Unlike for Joseph Matthias, it doesn't say that he is a disciple of. But you can clearly see the growth in. And so there's fruit. And when there's fruit, there is faith. Okay? Just simple. And so Nicodemus' story proves to us, shows us. It shows the original readers, people like him, who hated Jesus, who had questions, doubts, could come to faith. Right? It shows the whole book. It took a long time. Jesus said it's so difficult for the rich to get into the kingdom of heaven. For the poor, impossible. For the rich, very difficult. Okay, and we'll get back to that saying when we get to Mark and other Gospels where it's mentioned. But it shows, in other words, to the original readers that he was like them and he did believe. And he was willing to, when there was nothing to gain, to come and give it up. See, that is a hugely important point that John is making here. Okay, and the amount of myrrh and aloe is 75 pounds. So that is about 35, 37 approximately kilograms, which, well, if you had to go in the airplane 30 on the back, 7 in your hand luggage, you would have been able to carry it all, kind of. But this is not getting an airport, and the worth of all of this, it's worth a lot of money. It's worth a lot of money. It would have taken a few people to carry. So it's not just him and Nicodemus branching up there, walking up to the cross, taking off the body. It would have taken a number of people to carry all this stuff, preparation for all of this, a big enough entourage to do it. This wasn't done without the knowledge of the others, for sure not. And they knew it. They knew it's going to take. People will know. Lots of people need to be involved in this. They will know. And we are in secret, we can't be in secret. Again, the beauty is now, when the Messiah is not around, when he's dead. Here, Nicodemus is. Not at night anymore. Now at day. After the sun came out again. Darkness, there. He's there. When he couldn't gain anything from him. For so many Christians, they would never have shown up. They only believe in Jesus till they can get something from him. And the moment they don't get anything from him anymore, they stop believing in him. That's a sad fact. They're not Christians. They're Judas, that's all. It's just Judas was another name, that's all. No difference. But that's the beauty, Josephus, Nicodemus.